Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Andrew Wiggins was a great player for the Warriors and was an NBA champion. In addition to being a solid scorer, Andrew Wiggins is a good defender and can fill several gaps in the Lakers roster. Andrew Wiggins had 2 bad seasons due to family issues, but has since returned to playing well again. The Lakers were suggested to upgrade their roster in a 3-team trade that would bring Andrew Wiggins to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers, Heat, and Grizzlies are all teams with future championship aspirations, and there could be a trade on the table that nets each of them a key player, or 2, in the 2025 offseason. The 2024-25 NBA season has been a roller coaster for several franchises, and as the offseason approaches, we expect bold moves to happen. The Los Angeles Lakers, despite a strong 50-32 regular season record and a blockbuster midseason acquisition of Luka Doncic, faced a disappointing first-round playoff exit at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat, finishing 10th in the Eastern Conference with a 37-45 record, are seeking a resurgence after a lackluster season that saw them move on from franchise star Jimmy Butler. In this context, a massive 3-team trade proposal emerges. The Lakers acquire a super-talented center and a proven wing to bolster their roster, while the Heat bring in dynamic point guard Ja Morant to rejuvenate their backcourt. Morant, who averaged 23.2 points and 7.3 assists over 50 games this season, could provide the spark Miami desperately needs. The Memphis Grizzlies won't want to move on from their core superstar player in a perfect situation, but Morant's future has been up in the air following multiple seasons of inconsistency, and it might be time for all parties to move on. Los Angeles Lakers, Andrew Wiggins, KLWA.RE. Miami Heat receive, Ja Morant. Memphis Grizzlies receive, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, sign-and-trade, 2025 first-round pick, GSW, 2031 first-round pick, MIA. This potential trade could redefine the trajectories of all franchises as they each aim to return to playoff contention in the near future. Let's go through what this trade could do for each team involved. By parting with Austin Reeves and Dorian Finney-Smith, in a sign-and-trade, 2 players who we predicted could lead the team this summer, the Lakers can make a strategic move to enhance their championship aspirations. Reeves was the 3rd option this season, but if the player rejects the expected offer from the Lakers to seek at least $200 million, he could be traded this summer. Following a disappointing first-round playoff exit despite a 50-32 regular season record, the Lakers are poised to retool their roster around stars Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Acquiring Andrew Wiggins and KLWA addresses critical needs. Wiggins, who averaged 18.0 points per game with a 44.8% field goal percentage during the 2024-25 season, brings versatile defense and scoring ability to the wing position. His experience and athleticism complement Doncic's playmaking and James's leadership, especially when considering he had Finals MVP-worthy performances in the 2022 NBA Finals. KLWA, a promising 21-year-old center, adds youth and athleticism to the Lakers' frontcourt. In his rookie season, Ware posted 9.3 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game, shooting an efficient 55.4% from the field. His presence addresses the Lakers' need for a dynamic big man who can protect the rim and finish around the basket. No doubt, he would be an immediate upgrade over who the Lakers had competing at center this past season, Jackson Hayes and Alex Len. This trade allows the Lakers to balance their roster by adding a seasoned wing and an emerging center, providing Doncic and James with the support needed to contend in the competitive Western Conference. Bronny James could crack Lakers' rotation next season. Bronny James, the son of LeBron James, had many doubters and critics when the Los Angeles Lakers took him with the number 55 pick in last year's NBA draft. It certainly didn't help that he struggled mightily during summer league play and early on in the G League. But he started to hit his stride during the G League regular season, even though he was constantly shuttled back and forth between the G League and the NBA. He ended up averaging 21.9 points, 5.5 assists, 5.1 rebounds and 1.9 steals a game while shooting 44.3% from the field and 38% from three-point range in 11 games with the South Bay Lakers. The next several months will be big for the 20-year-old. He will reportedly take part in July's Summer League in Las Vegas, and Dave McMenamin of ESPN said that he could be a rotation player for the big league Lakers by the middle of next season. "I think he could be a rotation player by mid-season of next year if he continues this trajectory," he said. The younger James has shown promise offensively, especially when it comes to creating off the dribble. But McMenamin highlighted a different aspect of his game that could truly help Los Angeles. Need a break? Play the USA Today daily crossword puzzle. When he uses his athleticism to hawk the ball to get in the passing lanes, to go and take a charge, to have a chase-down block, he can really impact the game defensively. The Lakers certainly need more perimeter defense, especially since their current starting backcourt of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves is unathletic and weak defensively. The younger James may be undersized for a combo guard or shooting guard, but he has a 6'7" wingspan and a vertical leap of 40.5 inches, which means he has ample athleticism. One thing he'll need to do before he's truly ready for the NBA is back up a big performance with at least a solid performance in his very next game. In other words, he needs to improve his consistency. But another handful of months in the G League, after a summer of focused training and conditioning, could be enough for him to get to the point where he could help the big league Lakers during at least some occasional slivers of playing time. Magic Johnson pleads for former NBA MVP to join Lakers this offseason. Magic no longer works for the Lakers, but he is still trying to sway FA their way. The Los Angeles Lakers have and always will be a franchise driven by superstars, and one of the best to don the purple and gold has already started laying the groundwork to try and get another future Hall of Famer to consider joining the franchise. Lakers legend Magic Johnson is no longer part of the franchise's front office after a brief stint calling the shots alongside Rob Pelinka. That isn't stopping him from encouraging some of the best in the game today to follow in his footsteps and bring another Larry O'Brien trophy to Southern California. While the likelihood of this scenario playing out seems rather slim, the Lakers legend used the league's announcement of the annual Magic Johnson Award winner to plead with Phoenix Suns star Kevin Durant to finish out his storied career in Los Angeles. Johnson is a part owner of the NFL's Washington Commanders, the franchise Durant has been a fan of for quite some time, so there is a relationship between the two. Using Magic's tweet as evidence, it doesn't seem like Johnson believes that his attempt to sway Durant will be successful. Durant's decision to join the Phoenix Suns has not gone to plan. The franchise is heading in the wrong direction and missed the postseason this past year. The former MVP may not be long for the Valley of the Sun, but seeing him move from Phoenix to Los Angeles would be an absolute coup for the purple and gold. There are plenty of hurdles that would need to be cleared and questions to be answered before the Lakers could even consider pursuing Durant. For as great of a scorer as he is, Durant is quickly approaching his late 30s and, quite frankly, doesn't have the type of physical build as LeBron James, making him more prone to injuries as he ages. Regardless of those facts, Magic Johnson is trying his best to use his sway to convince Durant to at least consider the possibility. How much can the Lakers offer a free agent this summer? When it comes to adding the one or two legitimate complementary players, the Los Angeles Lakers need to become a championship-caliber player, especially a starting-caliber center. They can either turn to free agency or the trade market. Of the two options, most agree that they will have to turn to the trade market in order to secure the type of center they need to take the next step. One reason for that is their lack of salary cap flexibility. They're projected to be above the first apron, which means they will only have access to the taxpayer mid-level exception, which likely wouldn't be enough to entice such a center to sign. LeBron James can opt out of his current contract this summer and sign a slightly longer one. But according to a recent report, he's not expected to take the type of modest pay cut that would give the organization more salary cap flexibility. The Lakers need to find a way to add more size, defense, shooting, and athleticism around Luka Doncic, which is far easier said than done, Jovan Buha wrote. And they need to do so with limited roster-building tools, especially if James doesn't take a pay cut, as The Athletic previously reported is unlikely. In that case, the Lakers will likely only have the $5.7 million taxpayer mid-level exception and a few trade assets at their disposal, one first-round pick, several expiring contracts and Dalton Connect. Need a break? Play the USA Today Daily Crossword Puzzle. $5.7 million may be enough to bring in a player who can plug their lack of backcourt and wing depth. But since viable starting centers don't exactly grow on trees, that type of money won't be enough for such a player, unless such a player takes a sizable pay cut himself in order to try to win a ring. If, however, James swallows his pride and agrees to enough of a pay cut to put the Lakers below the first apron, they would then have access to the full mid-level exception of roughly $14 million. That may not be enough to attract someone such as the Indiana Pacers' Miles Turner, but it could be enough for someone such as Brook Lopez, Steven Adams, or Naz Reid, or possibly even Clint Capella. In that case, LA would then have all of its finite trade assets to go after someone such as a 3-and-D wing or possibly even a second viable big man off the bench who would be a better option than Jackson Hayes. According to Spotrac.com, the NBA's first apron is projected to be at $195.9 million for next season. As of now, the Lakers had just under $191.6 million committed to salaries for next season, but they also need to re-sign forward Dorian Finney-Smith, who helped spark their transformation when he arrived in a late December trade. Finney-Smith, like James, has a player option for next season. Insider names two players most commonly linked to Lakers trade. The Los Angeles Lakers appear willing to be aggressive in upgrading the roster this offseason. They already have some very good pieces like Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves on the roster, but what they don't have is a capable big. Jackson Hayes is a free agent, and it's hard to imagine they'll be bringing him back after a rough playoff performance. He was essentially out of the rotation for most of the team's round 1 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lakers want a significant upgrade at center, but it's going to cost. Los Angeles does have some appealing trade assets. According to Dan Woik of the Los Angeles Times, the Brooklyn Nets and Dallas Mavericks are already being talked about as possible trade partners. People, including the Lakers scouts and executives here in Chicago, have openly spoke about the team's needs at the center position, an obvious priority for Pelinka and Redick, Woik wrote. The team has shown no interest in using Reeves in a trade that nets them anything less than a top-tier big, and there really aren't any of those available, with the two most common names linked to them in the earliest stages of the offseason, Brooklyn's Nick Claxton and Dallas' Daniel Gafford. Mavericks may be apprehensive to trade with Lakers. If the Lakers want Gafford, things could get complicated. The Mavericks already made a big trade with Los Angeles that was met with swift backlash when they dealt Doncic. According to Woik, the Mavericks may prefer to avoid dealing with the Lakers for the time being. Gafford, we know, is a surefire Doncic fit because of their time together in Dallas, Woik wrote. He's about to enter the final year of his deal and plays on a roster with Derek Lively and Anthony Davis, making it unlikely that there's more cash headed his way from the Mavericks. The trouble, of course, is that people around the NBA wonder how it would look if Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison engaged Pelinka and the Lakers on another trade after the last deal between the teams was so unpopular that it caused protests. If the Lakers are offering an objectively strong package for Gafford, it's hard to imagine the Mavericks would actually turn it down simply due to optics. What are Lakers' best assets? According to Woik, the Lakers don't want to trade Reeves unless they can get a high-end center. Gafford and Claxton are good players, but may not be worth Reeves, who appears to be an emerging star. Woik detailed what the Lakers' best tradable assets are. According to rival scouts and executives, the Lakers' best assets, minus Reeves, are their 2031 first-round pick, second-year wing Dalton Connect and a bunch of expiring contracts, Woik wrote. Some combination of them would be a must in any deal the team would make for a center. Connect and some draft picks could be enough to get a player like Gafford or Claxton, but to make the money work, the Lakers may have to consider adding Rui Hachimura to any center trade.